Welcome back to the Hardworking Man Podcast. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Heath.
And we are going to start off this episode sharing 3 things we're loving and 3 things we're hating. So, Heath, let us know. We'll start off with the negative first. Let you get that off your chest. What is one thing you're hating?
Daylight savings time. Why do we do it? It ruins life in general. You can't get out of work in time to go hunting. You can't get out of work in time to do firewood. You can't work outdoors if you work a regular job and you work until 4 or 5 p.m. By the time you get home, it's dark. And what are you going to do outside in the dark? You got to put up lights. You got to find other ways to do it. Just leave it the way it was. Who wants to wake up early in the morning? Who needs more sunlight in the morning when you should be sleeping? Nobody should.
No,
I hate daylight savings time.
I feel bad for our kids too because like wrestling season is starting. So like they leave the house a little after 7 in the morning when it's dark, and then they're not going to get out of school until after 6 or something, and it's dark. So these poor kids spend their entire daylight hours trapped inside of a school building.
So that's one thing I'm hating. Daylight savings time. Get rid of it. Hardworking Man says it's a no-go. Let's do away with it. We don't need it.
Sign his petition. So I will meet your hate with another hate of mine. And it's recent from our video where I smashed my finger. Like the first... We've got a lot of views on it. So the first half was like our people, the people that know us and like us commented, very nice. And then now the meanies have come out.
Well, you thought from the beginning, because you thought people were going to come at you, and they didn't. Because it's just part of splitting. It was a vertical splitter and a log kicked sideways and pinched her hand. When you work outdoors and you work with equipment, stuff happens sometimes. She wasn't doing anything wrong. It just was a perfect storm of wood that wasn't ideal for the splitter, and it caught her off guard, got her pinched a little bit, and she thought people would come at her from the beginning, but they didn't. But
I was like, they're going to be so mad at me. They're going to tell me how I, shouldn't have done that. But really, they didn't at first, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to make it through unscathed.
But however the YouTube algorithm works, it has now advanced that video to the meanies.
Yes, the meanies have come out full force. They're all not nice.
Well, they come after me, too, because I didn't teach her correctly. But I ran the machine the exact same way. I just didn't have happen to me what happened to her.
Like, listen, if you don't have anything nice to say, you don't have to say it. Like, you can think mean comments all day long, but you have the ability with the internet to type something mean and then just delete it if you really want to type it.
Yeah, but what fun would that be?
You don't have
People
to send
love
it.
trolling. People do it on purpose.
I do like, though, when people troll the mean comments. So if you see...
Oh, so it's okay to be mean if it's in your defense.
You can be mean if they're mean at first.
You can be mean back.
Heath won't let me be mean back. So the rest of you can go ahead and say whatever you want.
This
approve.
Isn't true. You got to be polite on our channel, or we'll just delete your comment if it's too mean.
You can kind of make fun of them. Like, what did somebody say? They said something like your partner or whatever, and they said... partner, like howdy partner, that's funny. And you kind of like trolled them for being a little rude to us. So
by Rachel's playbook, if you're being mean in her defense, it's okay. But if you're being mean to her, it's not.
But I just don't even want to like open up that video to see what the comments are at this point, because it's just gone past anybody that likes me and they're just mean to me. So that's another thing that I'm hating this week.
And the final thing that we're putting down is what we're hating right now. It's, I guess, regional, because here in Michigan, it has rained nonstop all year. Mm-hmm. More rain than I ever remember in my entire life. And now everything's mud. I can't work out in the yard. Working on getting that outdoor wood boiler installed. Just tractor slipping everywhere. It's clay soil here. It's a greasy, slippery mess. Can't get out in the woods and pull firewood. It's just been wet and muddy all year. But I know that a lot of people in other areas of the country or other countries have said it's been super dry, hasn't rained. So it's a regional thing, but the mud, I'm sick of the mud. The dogs get covered in mud.
Yes.
I take my deer tracking dog out and we get covered in water, get covered in mud, go over our boots in water that normal falls is gone. And now it's going over my knee-high rubber boots, and I come back with wet feet. The dog's soaked and muddy. The cars are getting destroyed. Just the mud. The mud. I hate it.
No, you expect this level of mud like in the spring.
In the spring.
But
a short period of mud
Yeah.
season, where this year they just said, you don't like that? Here you go. Have it all year.
we'll give you 2.
Like, I just freeze now at this point, so the mud will be frozen and I can do something.
Yeah. Well, now let's switch over to something a little more positive. Positive thinking here, Heath.
That's usually what I do. I'm a positive thinker.
That's not your natural inclination.
People always say I'm optimist.
I had a hard time thinking of something I'm hating, and Heath's like, oh, let me tell you. So here, we'll do positive.
I say I'm a realist. People sometimes, Rachel calls me a pessimist.
He-
I'm a realist. I call a spade a spade. It is what it is. If something isn't going good, I'll tell you it's not going good. Instead of try to make it seem like it is when it's not. It is what it is.
But you
I'm a
don't-
realist.
This is a whole off topic, but realist doesn't always have to look at the negative worst case scenario for every situation.
I don't. I look at that's what's happening.
It doesn't.
It's
You would
real.
think it would make you more prepared, so then you would be less angry when bad things did happen. But no.
Do I look angry?
Oh, God. All right, let's move on. So, things we're loving. We are loving YouTube Shorts because they're just kind of fun to make. They don't require the production value is way down. You don't have to film for hours. You don't have to edit for hours. And it's kind of a fun way where, like, Skitter Kev just made a short about Heath losing his moisture meter. So it's just kind of a funny way to, like, talk back and forth to your friends. And so Heath made one in a rebuttal. So it's just kind of funny, but
You never know what's going to
you
happen.
never know
with
what's going to
them.
happen with a short.
Like that one Skitter Kev made was sort of like a personal message to us, and it made me laugh because in one of my videos I mentioned that I lost a moisture meter and I always lose stuff in the wood yard. So then Skitter Kev puts out a short. Let's go look at this wood pile over here. Oh, look, it's Heath's moisture meter. It's been laying here the whole time. So then when I was just out the other day, I found a thermocell that I lost 2 months ago strapped to an IBC tote out there in the firewood yard,
Yeah.
the IBC tote
That
station
you
yard.
blamed me for moving it and putting it somewhere.
I do believe that you probably found it and placed it where
Yeah.
you knew I would then
strapped it onto
rediscover
that
it.
IBC tote like I always do.
So I made a short saying, look, Skitter Kev, you're not the only one who can find stuff. But when we say you never know what's going to happen, Allen Family Firewood, it's a great channel, husband and wife team, hard workers.
Phil and Karen.
They do a great job, and they actually were practicing making shorts, and they made one that has absolutely gone insane.
I think the last time we checked, it had like over 15 million.
I think it was over 25 million
25? It just
views.
keeps going higher and
It
higher.
just has exploded. Their
It's nuts.
subscriber count has exploded.
Yeah.
And it's allowing more people to find their channel, and I'm sure that it's going to increase their views, increase their interaction, and just make their channel better. But
And
it's not one they expected to do anything.
No,
they
and
were
it
just
didn't do anything right away.
No, they don't
took
always.
It took a few weeks, I feel, after they put it. So if you're in the YouTube making business, YouTube video making, don't sleep on shorts. Just make them. You never know.
We've got an idea that we think is going to be great.
Yeah, we have a really funny short.
I think
coming
a
out.
lot of times when we think they're going to be great, they're not, and when we don't think they are, they do better.
It
But
doesn't matter. It'll make you laugh. I guarantee it.
Phil and Karen, you've ignited our competitive spirit. We've never had a short of ours get over 10 or 15,000, I don't believe.
Probably not.
And when they started hitting millions, we check and we're like, oh my gosh.
We're like, holy
what
cow.
is going on?
And then their subscriber count. They gained over
35,000 in a couple days.
subscribers. That's insane. People go years trying to build up that.
And I got their shirt on today,
Yeah,
so
so-
check them out. It's a great channel.
Kudos to you guys. We're happy for you.
But we're coming for you.
But we're coming for you. Yeah. Heath will always come for you. So
We're
another
competitive.
thing.
We've always
we are.
been competitive.
But I mean, we have no say in if these go viral or not. That's the only part that we can only do our part. You all got to do your part for us. So another thing that we're loving, it's me. I mean, I don't know if you love it.
I love it.
What?
The candles.
So I have always been like, I don't know. I don't like to be called crafty because that just sounds like, I don't know. It sounds like you're not as
you're
creative
old.
or
No.
something. But like I've always been someone who sees products and goes, well, if they can make it, I can make it. And then I usually do. Like I'm usually pretty good at making stuff. If it's whatever, DIY, stuff. Like, I don't know. I just teach myself the skills, and then
She taught herself how to make baby shoes, like with a non-slip sole. We came up with a name, Swag Booty, slippers with a grip.
Yeah.
She sold them on Etsy for years and sold
like
a
12
ton of
years.
them
I
to
had a business where I
professional
did that.
athletes, people on TV shows all across the world. But she just got too busy. Life changed. We moved on, and she closed that shop down. But that's what she's referring to. She sees something, she figures it out, she makes it, and she tries to make it better. And she did there.
Well, and like most every product you buy, somebody made. So I'm like,
so if they can make it,
they can make it, I
we?
can make it. So it is, once the temps started dropping, it's candle season. All you women out there know, it's candle season. Now we start to light these candles that give you that like homey feel. And I was buying candles left and right at
and they're not cheap. For
TJ.
10
I mean,
candles,
I'm buying them at TJ Maxx.
Yeah,
and
but
those
still.
are cheaper. They're like $8, $8 to $12 for the ones I'm buying.
You know what I could buy for $100?
So
A nice new picaroon that will last forever.
This isn't about you. So I started thinking I should be able to make my own candles instead of buying all of these, and then I don't have to spend the time sniffing all the candles to find one that actually smells good. And so we have a 45-pound bag of soy wax
that I bought to make fire starters and is just slowly being
another
away.
Someone else can do it, we can do it thing.
Right, fire
so
starters.
I'm like, that's the right wax I need for candles, right? So then my hunt became finding vessels to put the wax in, and I found a place online where I could buy the fragrance, and now I make my own candles, and it's so fun.
And the final thing we're loving is deals. I've been just scoring deals like crazy, whether it be auctions, Facebook Marketplace. I'm always on the hunt, always looking for the next thing I don't need but can't not buy. I got the Kubota garden tractor, $190 for a diesel Kubota, fired right up. That thing has all kinds of power. I got that outdoor wood boiler. We're going to work on getting that installed. That video will be coming to you on our channel. Just went to Canada, picked up another crazy deal, something I've wanted forever. We're going to be bringing that to you on the channel. I love finding deals, even when I don't even know I'm looking for it. You just know when you find a deal, you got to grab it, and I love it. It's been something I've done my whole life, buying and selling stuff, getting deals on stuff. People are like, how do you do it? You just got to always look and not even be looking for one thing, just looking for, wow, that might be worth more than what they're selling it for. Do a little bit of research with the internet, and all right, that's a $4,000 item I can get for $2,000. I could buy it, I could use it, I could flip it. I'm not real good on the resale part. I like to keep everything I buy.
He does not resell things.
But we're moving in that direction because I got to start selling some stuff.
He needs to, because I can't even walk through my garage. It's a very narrow. When I say narrow, I mean just 2 feet barely to walk.
Come on, because I get home with a deal, and when I'm ready to take care of it, I find another deal, and I got to go get it.
Yeah, so we got to get some of this out of here.
But now, on to what this episode's sort of about, and it's sort of like limiting beliefs or...
Well, okay, so I started thinking Thanksgiving's coming up, a couple weeks here, and I'm hosting it at our house. Our 2 kids from college will be in town, or they're coming home for the weekend, and we don't want to travel. Our family lives 3 hours away from where we currently do. That's where we grew up. We're the ones who moved. And I said, we're staying home this year. I'm hosting. I'm making Thanksgiving, which I love to do, and I've done it for a long time.
And we make really good food.
And we make really good food, so it's good.
But it wasn't always that way.
No, and I said, because I make like homemade, like everything's from scratch. I love to make everything from scratch. But I was deterred when I was like in high school or young, like learning how to start to make food. Somebody told me that making your own pie crust, oh, it's so hard. It's so terrible. I can never get it right. I don't have a good recipe. It's just better to buy store-bought.
So we would just buy it.
I bought store-bought because I was told it was not worth trying to make your own.
And this sort of actually ties back to when she sees something, she's not afraid to try it. But that's something we've learned over the years because like she said, I'm not making pie crust. It's impossible. Right. So we'd buy them and they
don't taste that great.
And then one year she's like, I'm just going to make one. And it was simple, but she was afraid
simple,
to try it because she was told
easy.
It was hard.
Yeah, and same thing with making your own gravy. I was told it's near impossible to make gravy that doesn't have lumps and it's awful and you got to stir and you got to add like, oh, it's just not even worth it. Just buy it.
Notice how she said you gotta stir. We didn't know how to make gravy.
Oh, that's, yeah.
And the first time we tried, we put it in a shaker bottle.
Yeah, what was it? This was not a homemade gravy. It was like a packet or something.
I don't know what it was, but we put it in there, and instead of stirring it, I'm like, well, if you can stir it, you can shake it. And we shake this gravy up, and boom, it just blows up everywhere. So I guess gravy is hard to make if you don't do it right. So don't shake your gravy. You gotta stir it.
You gotta put it on the stove. And now it's so super simple. I don't even know why somebody would think it was hard. So I'm like, that's so funny that somebody tells me it's hard, and rather than try to figure it out on my own, I just listened until I went, this is silly. Why don't I just give it a shot? And now I will never go back, and I have the best gravy and the best pie crust. And like,
she's very humble.
No, I mean, listen, I know when it's good. So I'm like, where does that also apply to other things in life that you just don't even realize? And I'm telling you,
you haven't even got to the turkey yet.
Oh, cooking your turkey.
Everyone says it's so tough to cook a turkey, and they prove it when you go to people's Thanksgiving, and it's like
their
eating
turkey's bad.
Dry shoe leather. But we figured out a way to make amazing turkeys, and we're going to try to bring that to you on a channel. We tried to do it last year, and the video just didn't work out.
It was
a Christmas dinner, and we did the whole video, and it just wasn't good, so we didn't put it out. But we figured out a way we just came up with by trying different stuff, cooking turkeys, that you're going to want to know about. So
and it's easy. Like, we don't like to make things complicated, just so you know. Like, we figured it out, but it's the easy way that makes life work better. So now we have delicious food. Also, well, we don't need to get into a whole Thanksgiving meal.
Right. But while we were talking about this stuff, we just started talking about different things that I don't know that I'll ever be able to change just because of how you're raised and things that get ingrained in you.
Things that people tell you.
Not necessarily limiting beliefs, but just stuff that, like growing up, I've said it before, I grew up poor. Rachel grew up not well off by any means, but growing up, it's
a competition with him. He doesn't like to say I was poor either, because he has to be the poorest.
But anyways, one thing that to this day I will not do is order pizza to have delivered, because we couldn't do that when we were kids. It was if you wanted pizza.
He thinks it costs $100 to get pizza delivered.
Growing up as a kid, I thought it must be so expensive because it was never an option.
Well,
it didn't matter what was going on.
I'm sorry, you guys got pizza when you were a kid? Who
Little
was more
Caesars,
poor?
2 for $8 in a paper bag.
That. We didn't get pizza unless we earned it from our free personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut for reading books at school.
That was nice. You got to go to Pizza Hut and turn those in. We had to just let ours expire because we couldn't afford anything to go with them.
Oh, God.
But anyways,
now
I won't order a pizza delivered. And when Rachel does it, I'm like, what do you mean you're getting it delivered? I'll go pick it up. And really, we tip pretty generously because we've been in the food service industry.
And our son is a pizza delivery guy.
But my initial instinct is, you are not getting that delivered. Call them. I'll go pick it up. But the price of gas, like everything involved, it really doesn't hardly save you anything. And it's not that expensive to get pizza delivered. So if you've never done it because you grew up like me and it wasn't an option, try it someday. Maybe you can break the mold, but I don't know that I ever will.
The worst thing is just waiting for it to come.
That is, because you can go get a pizza in 15 minutes or wait an hour and 20 minutes to get it. So
you can call ahead.
So picking it up is better. She just proved my point.
I will not pick it up, so you're welcome to do whatever you want. So basically, people may have their small-minded thinking that they try to pass on to you. So our word of advice is, don't let them dictate your life. Live your own life, and you're going to be a lot happier. As far as even like starting a YouTube channel, do you know how long Heath probably waited to start it over the fact that people would have something to say about it?
But it's not even, and I don't think people try to hold you back, just they're held back. And so unknowingly, if you say, I'm going to do this, they're like, oh, that'll never work. Or why would you do that? Or I tried once and it didn't work. And I know there's a lot of people with YouTube channels or that have said, I've always wanted to do a YouTube channel, but they don't. Like what she's talking about, at my work, there was a guy, he made one video, and everyone made so much fun of him because we're a bunch of jerks, and he never made another one. And so when I wanted to do a YouTube channel, well, my kids wanted me to do one. There were a few things holding me back, which some of them don't have to do with other people. Technology, not my thing. You know, my youngest son is like, Dad, I'll do all your editing. And he did for 2 or 3 videos. And then he's like, that's a lot of work. And he bailed on me. But the ball was rolling then, so we kept going. But people will tell you, like, it's hard. Oh, you don't want to do it. It'll never work. You don't know if it'll never work. Don't not do something because someone else told you it's not going to work. Just do it, figure it out, and maybe maybe adapt over time to make it work. And maybe it won't work, but you're not going to know unless you try it.
Well,
and not trying it because somebody else said it's not going to work. I mean, you might be missing out on one of the greatest opportunities ever, like our YouTube channel. We've met so many great people, had so much fun. It is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun and it's very rewarding, and we've learned a ton doing it. And had we listened to the naysayers, we never would have started it in the first place.
Right. Even the people that are like, you have a YouTube channel? They still say that all the time.
People are
I'm
still,
like,
oh, why would you do that? Like, who would watch you?
They're like, oh.
A lot of people watch us, and it's a lot of fun. And we can go back and watch it, and someday our grandkids will be able to watch it. So that's sort of cool in and of itself.
So I like to tell our kids to not be afraid to try anything in life, because you gain experience in life by failing. So it's okay if it doesn't go the right way.
I don't know about don't try anything. There's some stuff we don't want them to try.
So you gain experience in life by having failures, because that's how you learn what not to do the next time. Some people are a little slower than others figuring that out, but that shouldn't be anything that limits you in what you're doing in life. You should never be afraid to try for fear of failure, which I think is probably what holds the most people back in life, is they're just afraid of trying and failing. But that's how you gain wisdom. That's how you gain experience. That's how you can teach others what to do or not to do. You know, like, how do I know to tell my toddler not to touch a hot stove? Because I've burnt my fingers on that hot stove. So that's just a small scale here. But even like our daughter, she recently transferred down to school in Florida. And if she had listened to everybody up here that loves her, well-meaning family members, trying to dissuade her from going down there. They're like, oh my gosh, why would you do that? And she just held to it. And you know, it may end up being not the best decision. She's having some struggles going on down there right now, but this could also be the best thing for her. So
she's got to learn to work through it and figure out if it was a good choice or a bad choice, but she's doing that on her own because we've taught them, don't worry always about what other people think, because I think that holds so many people back, whether it's, you know, you try to live to other people's standards, and we try to teach our kids not to do that. Even though we do it sometimes, everyone's going to do it sometimes, but that's something we really try to teach our kids not to do. Don't live to please other people. Be respectful and care about other people, but don't live for other people or by their standards or beliefs.
No, and if you think you don't have the confidence for it, well, just fake it till you make it. Just pretend, because sometimes it's really hard to get out there and do things, and you might feel scared to try it. But if you just tell yourself, it's fine, I got this, and just fake it, then people are going to go, wow, they're really confident. They've got it. So that's just kind of our big takeaway for today, is don't let other people limit what you're going to do in your life. Unless they're the ones who are paying your bills, they really don't have a say in what's going on and what you do. So it's just something that we've kind of really seen as our kids have gotten older and have gone into college, and then now they're at the point where they have to try to figure out like which direction their lives are going to go. And, you know, like, well, everyone always asks, what do they want to do? What do they want to do with their life? Like, what job do they want to have? And I find that, you know, like, I only know what I know to offer you as far as jobs, but there's a million positions available when you study certain fields of study that I don't even have any knowledge or experience of. So who am I to tell this person who's interested in this what they should do with it? Because I don't have any experience with it. But I feel like the people that have the least amount of knowledge are the ones who tell you the loudest
Yes.
what you should be doing with your life.
You got to do what they do or what they believe, like limiting factors,
Yeah.
limiting beliefs. And she's right. The people, it seems like, that know the least talk the loudest. We know some people in life who have been very successful, and they don't tell you what to do. And maybe that's because they know something that unsuccessful people don't. And you just got to go do it and go try it and see if it works for you.
Yeah, no, and so it's like it's just funny living through our kids and realizing how people will talk to them, like, well, what are they going to do? Everyone's super worried about it. I'm like, they have the rest of their
They're
lives
19,
to figure
20
it out.
years old. They don't know what they're going to do yet. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know I was going to be a YouTube star. I didn't know.
I mean, we've lived a lot of lives from our, in our 40 something odd years here of different experiences. And I think that's kind of that's the point of life, to gain the most experience. To me, I know it's a thing of the past. I know it used to be very highly revered to work at the same job for 40, 50 years. Like, wow, you stuck with that job. And to me, I just kind of feel sad about that, to think that's all you got to do with your life, that you were stuck going to the same building every day, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day with probably the same 10 people. Like, that's not a very well-rounded, fulfilling
Unless
life.
it's something you love. If you love it, by all means, keep doing it. And we're not telling you to quit your job and go do something else, but just...
No, but I think just the stigma behind not staying at the same job, I think it is going away, because the younger kids are like, use jobs as stepping stones. And they're like, if you're not going to give me what I want, bye. There's no
I'll go
longer...
find some place that will. Or start my own job, my own career, my own business, which is what I try to push our kids to do.
So I'm like, they're just gaining
out.
lots of, like, they're not afraid to try new things. They're not afraid to gain new experiences and have different jobs. And you never know, this job may lead you to that one, which might lead you to here. And then you meet this person. And then now you're doing this, which had nothing to do with where you started initially. But if you'd been afraid to make that jump, look at everything you missed out on. So, and I don't think it's ever too late. I think you can start, I mean, shoot, how old was I? And I became a realtor just because,
Late 30s.
Like, why not? It's not something you have to do right away. And like, you can still continue to get new jobs. Your mom just got a new job and she just turned 70. So like, just don't be afraid of trying new experiences. And I think it just makes your life more full, because the more people you meet, then, like us meeting all these new people from YouTube. Well, it makes it a more fulfilling life.
And looking back, had we listened to people, we never would have met any of these people. And we'd still have watched some YouTube, but I wouldn't get to spend the time outside with my family that I do now, because this channel has brought them out more, and it's been great. And I could have missed out on it had I listened to the naysayers, the people who haven't done it. It's not people who have done it and have experience. It's people who were scared to do it because someone else told them not to do it.
Well, yeah, there's some quote that says, like, the people who are going to be the most critical of you are usually the ones who are doing less than you are. So it's not the ones who are doing more than you that are going to come and criticize you. It's the ones who, they're afraid themselves. They're falling by those beliefs. So they're the ones criticizing you for daring to go do it. Like,
Ordering pizza to have delivered.
Buying a new car and having your family members say, who do you think you are? You don't need a new car. That's a terrible mindset to have. Like, to me, it's the whole, like, just because somebody else is, like, Allen Family Firewood, just because they're blowing up and they're getting all these subs, that doesn't diminish us. That doesn't change us and who we are. And, there's plenty of light for all of us to shine. Somebody else doing good, somebody else, like, there's plenty to be celebrated. We shouldn't look at them with jealousy and try to knock them down. Like, somebody else shining doesn't take away your light. That's the point. So,
right. So don't be afraid to go out there and shine.
So not only don't let other people dictate your life, but don't be that person. Like, be aware of what you say to other people, because your words do stick with people, whether or not your intentions are good or bad. When you say certain things to people and they value your opinion and they love you and respect you, they're going to listen to that, and it's always going to be in the back of their mind. So, try to always be positive to other people and encourage them. And, go ahead. You want to try it? Do it. We're here. You need help. We'll help you,
And let us know, what are some limiting beliefs or things that you've always thought that maybe you found out weren't the case once you decided to do it when you wouldn't have because of what others had said. Or maybe what's something that you've always wanted to do, but you never did because of what others have said, and maybe this will help you go do it. So let us know in the comments on YouTube. We check those comments. We interact with people. Let us know, like, what is it that either you've done and been like, wow, that was not what I was told it was going to be, or what maybe you want to try.
All right. So thanks for watching. We're loving doing this podcast. We love your feedback. Let us know. I mean, if there's any topics you want us to cover, we're happy to do about anything.
We're learning as we go. We want to have other people on here in the future. But right now we're still figuring it out and just trying to remain, I guess, entertaining and helpful, because that's the whole reason we started the show. The kids wanted to, and we love helping other people. And in return, we've been helped probably as much or more than we've helped others, which wasn't the goal or expected, but it's another thing that we never would have experienced had we not just gone out there and done it.
Right. So we really appreciate if you like this video and comment to help YouTube see that it is valuable to people. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. It all helps us to know that what we're doing is valued from you. And it helps YouTube to be able to share stuff because they see other people like it. So you can watch us on YouTube, or you can go to anywhere you follow podcasts on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. This podcast will go out to all of those. So if you like and follow on those sources, if that's where you're listening, we greatly appreciate you.
And it's just the Hardworking Man podcast. So
yeah.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.